Hello Chelsea fans, welcome back to Chelsea Daily Report, your number one home for everything Chelsea Football Club. Whether you've supported the Stamford Bridge all your life or you're a new fan, this is the place for you. Get ready for daily Chelsea news, transfer updates, match previews and deep tactical analysis that keeps you connected to Stamford every day. Let's dive into the top story.
Chelsea Football Club, one of the biggest and most influential clubs in world football, has officially parted ways with head coach Enzo Maresca, bringing an end to a turbulent spell that failed to deliver the success or stability the club had hoped for. The Italian tactician arrived at Stamford Bridge surrounded by huge expectations, but his journey with the Blues has now come to a premature and dramatic end. This decision, while surprising to some, had become increasingly expected in recent weeks as pressure mounted from within the club hierarchy, the dressing room, and most loudly, the fan base. A journey that began with hope and big dreams. When Enzo Maresca arrived at Chelsea, he was introduced as the man to lead a new era. Chelsea's ownership believed he could build a long-term football identity, develop and trust the many young talents in the squad, introduce a fresh tactical philosophy, restore pride, fear and consistency to the Chelsea badge. He was seen not only as a coach, but as the architect of a long-term project, someone who would stabilise the club after years of managerial changes and turmoil. But the intensity of the Premier League, the pressure from fans and the demands of an ambitious ownership soon turned that dream into one of the toughest challenges of his career. Results that failed to match expectations. Football is ultimately about results, and this is exactly where Maresca struggled. Chelsea routinely failed to secure consistent victories, win matches that appeared winnable on paper, convert dominance in possession into goals, maintain composure in key moments, show tactical adaptability when things went wrong. There were moments when Chelsea played exciting football. There were flashes of beautiful possession play. There were sequences showing what Maresca wanted to build, but football is judged on points, not potential. Chelsea frequently dominated matches only to collapse late, losing points in the final moments. This pattern frustrated players, fans and executives alike. The club looked like a team full of talent but lacking direction, something unforgivable at a club with Chelsea's status. Internal tensions with the board made things worse behind the scenes. Another powerful force was working against Maresca's survival at the club: tension with the Chelsea board. Reports grew that Maresca wanted more tactical freedom and autonomy, expected stronger backing and patience, disagreed on recruitment and squad decisions, felt the project's expectations were unrealistic for the time frame. At the same time, the board demanded immediate improvement, consistent results, better use of the expensive squad, faster progress in building a winning team. This misalignment created a growing rift. Meetings were held, conversations were tense, and trust slowly disappeared. By the time final discussions were held, it became clear. The club and the coach no longer shared the same vision. Chelsea fans turned against him. At a club like Chelsea, fans are never silent, and when they speak, their voices echo loudly. As the bad results continued, criticism intensified on social media. Frustration filled Stamford Bridge chants calling for change became louder. Many fans called his football slow, predictable, and uninspiring. Chelsea supporters are used to ambition, trophies, and belief. They could no longer see a future under Maresca that offered any of those things. Emotionally and mentally, they were done with him. Once the fans lose faith at Chelsea, history has shown what comes next. Rumours of a dressing room divide. While not all details became public, multiple reports suggested unrest within the squad. Some players were believed to be unhappy with playing time decisions, tactical rigidity, lack of identity during difficult moments. The feeling that results were not improving. When unity in the dressing room weakens, confidence disappears. And when confidence disappears, results collapse. That is exactly what happened. The dressing room atmosphere reportedly became tense, uncertain, and frustrated. Another critical reason the club decided to act. The final decision: Chelsea part ways with Maresca. After weeks of pressure, internal evaluation, and intense discussion, Chelsea's leadership announced their decision to sack Enzo Maresca. The official statement carried a balanced tone, respecting Maresca's efforts, acknowledging his work with young players, but ultimately declaring that the club needed a new direction. It marked the end of a chapter that promised renewal, but delivered anxiety, inconsistency, and disappointment. What, if anything, does Maresca leave behind? Despite his failure to achieve the expected success, Maresca does leave behind some positives. He helped give opportunities to young talents. He tried to establish a structured football identity. He contributed to shaping Chelsea for future development. He highlighted areas that need immediate rebuilding, but football is cruel. Effort is respected, results are demanded. Where does Chelsea go from here? This is the biggest question now. Chelsea must decide who becomes the next manager. Will they choose experience or another project coach? Will they finally support a manager long-term? Or will this cycle continue? Chelsea still has a hugely talented squad, enormous financial power, one of the biggest fan bases in world football, a global football identity. The ingredients for success remain. The problem is direction. What this says about Chelsea's managerial culture. Chelsea's reputation for changing managers has once again been strengthened. The club has fired world-class managers before. Now another one joins the list. Analysts believe Chelsea must stop rushing long-term projects, reduce constant pressure for instant success, build stability, trust a coach beyond short-term dips. But other voices say,